Hi, I'm Mary Jo. I've been a nurse for 51 years and I have lost over 100 pounds as a postmenopausal woman. But what's more important, I have reversed all chronic disease in my life. I was hypertensive. I'm not anymore, and I'm not on any medications. Uh, I have normal blood sugars, and I used to be borderline type 2 diabetes. I used to have restless leg syndrome and I used to have terrible migraines. Now, eating a high nutrient based dietary plan is fabulous, but you got to get rid of certain toxins before the headaches go away. So the headaches really diminished in number, but I still would have one once in a while. But I think now I'm pretty much headache free. Things like headaches and allergies sometimes take a significant period of time, a couple of years, sometimes 3 years, for the body to really heal itself and not so you do not experience those symptoms. And I had horrible recurrent upper respiratory infections. It was just not fun being me at all. Now I feel wonderful. I have a great deal of energy. And I thought today you might want to have some helpful tips, I hope, on dining out because it's fun, isn't it? It's just fun to go out with people, and that's my priority. When I go out to eat, the whole idea is to enjoy the people I'm with. I don't go out to eat by myself. Some people probably do, and that's certainly okay. But I meet up with a group of retired nurses once a month, and that's just great fun. So when I go out to eat, I like my priority, my motivation to be the enjoyment of the other person. It can be my children and my grandchildren, it can be friends, it can be my other half. But the whole idea, it doesn't matter about the food so much as it does to enjoy this opportunity of peace. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anywhere else. I am here and I'm going to enjoy the heck out of you and your beautiful personality. So here's some other ideas that may assist you. And that is when I know I'm going out to eat, if I know what the restaurant will be, then I like to check the menu online as best as I can. It is a little disturbing that sometimes they have hidden ingredients and things that's not necessarily readily recognizable. I've even gone to online ordering to try and get a better idea of what's not just on the menu, but in that particular food product. I have called the manager. I did call the manager at an institution once, but my timing was not good. It was right outside of the COVID thing, and restaurants really couldn't make any money. They couldn't have too many people in the restaurant. First, they couldn't have anybody, and so they didn't have that many waiters and waitresses. So we're now going the other direction. But this poor man, I think they had one waiter for the entire restaurant. Well, I had asked the manager, I love this. I love your white bean mushroom meatballs, and I also have noticed that you now have on the menu zucchini. So I could have the meatball, the zucchini, and some marinara sauce. Is there any way I can order this so that it is oil-free, no added salt, no added sugar? Well, they cook pretty much everything in oil at this restaurant, but he said, you know what, we have a mechanism that we could cook it without the oil, so just ask for it. I'm sure that that will be fine. Now, unfortunately, you've got this waiter running around crazy over all these people, and you've got this one person that doesn't want anything according to the menu, wants everything just special for her. And even though it's very appropriate because I am the customer, and this actually is necessary for my health. I've eaten the other way, and that's how I got so sick. This is inherently necessary for my health. Well, he couldn't help me, the cook couldn't help me, they thought I was all crazy, and perhaps I am. So I just had to go to my safety valve. Now, I always have a backup plan for whatever I might think I want to order on the menu. And my backup plan is usually a very plain salad. And you can order more than one if you want. Now, this is my go-to thing to order. Any sort of salad, and then I take off all animal products, so no meats, no cheeses. And you know, if I get like a garden salad, it always cracks me up. What would you like for your protein today? Well, since their protein is usually chicken or some sort of beef, sometimes sometimes fish, sometimes not, usually deep fat fried, I say, no thank you, I do not need any of that. You know, don't forget any greens or beans or nuts or seeds or intact grains have got plenty of protein in them. So you do not need to imbibe in animal products. Now, if you want to, that's up to you. That's okay. But anyway, so I take everything off that needs to be taken off, and either I order dressing on the side or not at all. Sometimes I just as soon not have any even on the side because I'm not going to use it, and I don't like wasting things, even though I don't know that anybody else wants to ever use it, but yes, there are people that do. One waitress said to me once, she goes, you don't even want to try the raspberry vinaigrette? And I said, can you assure me that the raspberry vinaigrette does not have any oil? Oh, I'm sure it has some oil in it. I said, no, thank you. I do not want added sugar, salt, or oil, or any animal products with my meal. So I would do just fine with my flavored vinegar. And I always tell the waitresses if they're concerned about me, I said, you know, when they bring this out to me, they'll say, are you sure that's okay? And I'll say, oh, that's marvelous. Because they absolutely don't have anything on that plate that I can't totally enjoy. But I always bring with me a container of veggies. I could put some broccoli, red onion. If I have raw cauliflower, but I don't always have it, I might put some carrots in there, some cut up celery. I have these little tiny cherry tomatoes from the farmer's market that are so good. They're yellow, purple, and red, but the yellow ones are really like candy. They are absolutely delicious, and the purple ones are not really sweet, but they are very flavorful. So they are my absolute all-time favorites. You know, I might put in some red, yellow, or orange pepper, maybe some peas, maybe not. I mean, anything I have on hand that I can like crunch up. I always like bringing some green onion and some red onion because that gives me quite a diversity of nutrients from onion, and also added greens to my salad, which I think is just a big bonus plus. So anyway, a vegetable bowl full to the brim of vegetables. I've even taken two if I want to, but usually I can I have a big enough container, I can pack a lot of veggies in there. Then I have another container, and I always put some sort of legume preparation. I might have edamame. I might have a black bean burger or a chickpea burger. I might have a piece of my lentil meatloaf. I also have made this thing. I got this from, I believe the website is called Simply Shane, and it's chickpea salad. So I take garbanzo beans and mash them up a little bit. I always put some dill, some tahini, some mustard. I like Dijon mustard the best, and some apple cider vinegar. You could experiment with some lemon juice if you wanted to. I always put some sort of onions, whether it's an onion herb seasoning or whether it's an onion powder or whether it's an actual onion. And I usually do something with garlic like that, and put in any seasonings that you think would be fun. There's nothing wrong with that. And after I've got it kind of stirred together and a little mashed, I don't want the chickpeas totally blended. And then I will go ahead and add celery. And I like to add a dill pickle. Now you got to be careful about pickles and things like that because they are stored in a brine full of sodium. So I just figured this is probably acceptable. One pickle mixed up in something that's going to be a minimum of 6 different servings. So 1/6 of a pickle, I think that's going to be fine. And I like to put some celery in it, or you can put some celery seed in it. You can put some black pepper in it. Make it your own, but it's just fun. I really, really enjoy it. And what's really important is my other half really likes it. So you know it's good for it. It's good. It's not only good for you, but it's good. People enjoy it. So there are other different concoctions I can do with legumes as well. But I think it's important to get legumes in most meals of your day, as it is for greens. So anyway, this will give me a masterful salad. And usually I get people saying to me, my gosh, that salad was magnificent. Your salad always looks so good. I keep thinking they're going to ask me to make them one. They haven't so far. But, and when the waitress says, are you sure this is enough? I go, you're not going to believe how I'm going to transform it by the time you come back to check on us. And I've never had anybody tell me I cannot do that. And no matter what I take off the salad or how many salads I order, the price that the restaurant wants to charge me is perfectly acceptable. And that just has to be the way it is. I want this restaurant to thrive. They are servicing me. That's fine. I will pay whatever price tag is on there, even though I took the salmon off. You took the salmon off? Well, yes, of course I did, because the salmon was farmed, and farmed salmon is a highly polluted product. If you could get salmon from a non-polluted ocean, it would be an awesome product, but that's pretty hard to do these days. With microplastics all over the environment, but then again, I don't want to go there because that could just terrorize your soul. So let's just forget that part. But there are significant microplastics in the ocean, and that's a concern when you're wishing to imbibe in fish products. Okay, so so far I've said check the menu online, call the manager if you want, talk to the wait staff about what your needs are. And this is important for your health. You are not saying something that is untrue. This is very important for your health. Find a safety net. You know, some people at breakfast time will order oatmeal, and that's okay. I know that I just think about, well, what are they going to mix in the oatmeal? Is it going to be cow's milk? Because I don't want that. Is it soy's milk? Well, that would be great, but does it have added sugar, salt to it? Some places don't. They would have a very safe product, but a lot of places, in fact, most places, if I've asked about it, or even they've allowed me to look at the container, will have like 10 grams of sugar in something, and I'm like, no thank you. You could ask for water, and that's okay, but this is maybe getting a little bit too nitpicky, but is there water, a safe water source, or does it have fluoride in it? Remember, when fluoride is in your mouth, it kills off the bacteria that are important to creating nitric oxide from foods that you eat. So I've been trying to really ex-nay the fluoride. I just can't believe the government puts fluoride in our water. What were they thinking? Yes, they think if we eat tons of sugar, it's going to prevent our teeth from decaying, but does that really happen? Anyway, I need to stop talking about that particular subject. So there you go. Check out the menu ahead of time. Call the manager if you wish. Ask lots of questions to the waitstaff. Remember, you are the customer. You are the important person here. And they want your tip, and they want you to come back. And if anybody has serviced me before, they do know if they help me get the type of food I want, I am a very, very good tipper. So it's worth their time to invest a little bit of it in me. And then I always want to have a backup safety plan, something that I can eat. And you know, if worst comes to worst, you could always just sit there with a cup of tea. Now that maybe sounds awful to you, I don't know, but I have thought to do that once in a while. Anyway, yes, could I find something wrong with the tea? Of course I could, but I think I better stop demonizing everything, because some things are going to be just fine and just fine in that particular moment for you. And let my motivation always be the joy of the presence of the other person who is at the feast with me. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate so much your coming to listen to this particular broadcast. I also know that where would the rest of us be without you? So with great love and affection for all you are, please take good care of you. And I hope that maybe something in this conversation will assist you. Bye-bye from Nurse Mary Jo.